All right, what's up, everybody? Jackson Abe here today, and today we're going to talk about a little bit more about the conjugate method, specifically max effort work, and just kind of a brief overview of how to set that up. I realized when I was writing all the stuff out on the board that there's a lot more information and a lot more detail that I need to and can dive into about the max effort method and periodizing it, how to set it up for different goals, different ways it can look. So I'm not sure if this is going to be similar to the warm-up video where I add on a couple different whiteboard frames and segments to this video, or if it'll be different because that video could be, who knows how long. So this is just going to be a brief overview of the max effort method and how to set it up and get you going to start off with. So first and foremost, if you watch the conjugate method video, you kind of have a little information about it already, but I'm just going to hit on a few things to start off with. That way everyone knows kind of what the deal is. So max effort work, we have 2 days per week, 1 day for upper, 1 day for lower. And the reason that we're doing this is because we want to stimulate our central nervous system, our CNS. And really you can think of this as just like we want to strain under some heavy weight. How this looks will be different for everybody based on your goals, etc., etc. And so that leads us into, so what does this look like? So ideally, on our max effort days, we want to pick a variation of a squat or deadlift if it's a lower day, or a variation of a bench press on the upper body days. Now, this, if you're a competitive powerlifter or a strongman, this can look very similar to your competition lifts sometimes, but you do want a little bit of variation in there because, Louis talks about in a lot of his articles and in the book of methods about how if we're not rotating the variations that we're doing, then eventually we're just going to accumulate a large amount of fatigue, and then we're just going to come crashing down, and it's not going to really pan out well for us. And so that's why we want to variate our max effort work. But like I said, this is going to be very different for everyone based on their goals. And so you can rotate your variations every 1 to 3 weeks. Like I said, I'm going to need to make a periodization video about this because this is going to look different for many different people, especially if you're just a regular gym goer that likes to train hard and doesn't really sign up for lift or competitions or anything like that. You just like to lift. This can look very different for you because really you can get really creative with the variations that you choose. Now, you'll need to understand that some don't and won't really have carryover to your actual squat, bench, and deadlift if it's, very different or way out of the ballpark. But if you're not training for anything, it can be really fun to get creative with this. And this is why I think the conjugate method is so beautiful. I don't think a lot of people take enough advantage of how many, specialty bars and variations that you can do with just a barbell alone, how far it can really take you in just a general population type gym. And so when we do this variation, we're looking to, like I said, we're looking to strain underneath some heavy weight. And so we're looking to perform a 1 to 5 rep max on said variation. And now, like I said, this is going to look different for everybody. But like the goal remains the same. We want to strain because we're trying to stimulate our central nervous system. And so that leads us into what is followed by the max effort work, because it's still technically part of the max effort work, but it's not at the same time. And so, keynote, with our max effort work, we do want to work up to that max within 6 to 8 sets. This can also look very different. You can do it in 5 sets, you could do it in 9 or 10. It really doesn't matter. It's just the more you're doing, the more volume you're incurring. And we're not really looking for volume on this day in this section of the workout. And so that is a big factor that we'll talk about later in another video. And so onto the supplemental movement, you can just think of this as a compound movement. So your basic RDLs, barbell rows, close grip bench. If you're a wide grip bencher, or if you're a close grip bencher, then a wide grip would be suited for you. A good morning or anything like that. Compound movements typically done with the barbell, but like I said, this is why conjugate's beautiful, because if you don't have competitive goals, this doesn't always need to be a barbell. You can again get really creative with this. The supplemental movement can be periodized in a lot of ways. I recommend running it for no less than 2 weeks, just because the supplemental movement is in place because you're trying to build your main movement, and so we don't want to just constantly be varying that. We want that to kind of stay similar for a few weeks. That way our bodies can actually adapt to it. So, and again, this will look different for everybody, but here's just a basic, simple periodization of it. The simplest way I've heard of how to perform your compound movement was an article I read by Andy Baker, and he just basically said, we're looking to do 4 to 6 sets of 4 to 6 reps. How you go about that is going to be different for everybody. You can do 5x5s, every single week. You can do 5x6s, 5x4s, whatever it is. And like I said, we'll get into that. But here's just a basic setup that you can run if you're looking to start conjugate soon. This is what you can run for 3 weeks with one movement, and you're going to see great success. Week 1, a little bit lighter load, 6 sets of 6. And week 2, we're going to up the load, drop a set and drop a rep. So we're going to do 5x5. And then that week 3, again, we're going to up the weight even more because we're doing less sets and less reps. And so we want to really push ourselves that week and do a 4x4. Switch the movement. So say we did a close grip bench for this, and then the next 3 weeks we're going to run incline bench. So there you already have 6 weeks of training, and you only have 2 movements that you can progress. And in this manner, if you're doing it the right way, moving weights little by little each week, you're going to see tremendous progress, throughout the course of your training career. So this is just a brief overview of the max effort method, and this is how you can set yours up moving forward if you're looking to do that sooner than later. I'm going to have more of a video coming out about the max effort method and periodizing it and how you can set this up and how it can look different for different populations, in the gym. So thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, comment. If you have any questions, shoot them down below. Would love to have conversations about this. So thank you guys. Get after it today. Be great.